Hey there, welcome to the another edition of Fortune Talks. So we have Rajat,
Hey, hi,
Chetna,
hi.
Prema,
Hi.
and for
Hi.
now, off camera, Vivek Gangadhar, and me, Satish Rao. So welcome to yet another edition of the Sunday Talks at 8 p.m. every Sunday by Fortune Changes. It's titled Fortune Talks. So today's topic is another interesting one. It's called One Thing. In today's day and age, where there's surplus of information, surplus of knowledge, surplus of gurus, coaches. In fact, I get this comment. Okay, sometimes when people that come on, we don't need your kind of coaches and all that thing happens. Okay, so because people have got so much of information, so much of knowledge through social media, and it's very interesting, but at times it can get a little mundane, right? So this topic is very relevant for all of us. Okay, because the one thing which is at premium today is the focus. Okay, because there are so much options, so much opportunities that people have, and if people can explore all of that based on their ability, then they will be having so much of things in their hands, and it will be very difficult for them to cope up with that. So how important is that focus, whether it helps to have all the diverse knowledges that is there available, whether makes sense to pursue one thing? All of those will be discussed today in the Fortune Talks today. So let's dive straight in, and let's begin with the question to Rajat Jain, who is an author coach and an author himself. He's creating amazing set of people who are coming out with their own books, with their own stories. And you know what? Even I'm going to be one of them very soon. Okay. So let's begin with Rajat. Rajat, how to write with more focus and less of writer's block? Can you throw some light on that?
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Satish, for giving me opportunity to talk about it. And yes, surely your book will come very soon. You're a very good student. So, yeah. So it's a very good question. The writer's block. The mind always blocks when you're writing. So there is a time that comes when you hit the wall. You feel like, no, I cannot write any longer. Writing is not for me. Do I really need to write? How much do I need to write? Yesterday, my friend called me and said that, hey, I have written already 33,000 words. How many words do I further need to write? I have
Hmm.
all. You are telling me write at least 45, 50,000 words, but I am not able to write. It's a writer's block. It's a mind that is not letting you to write. That's
Yeah.
a block which has been there.
Yeah.
And why this block comes, Satish, and all of you? At least 45,
Huh.
50,000 words, but
Huh.
mind that is not letting
I think there's something happening here which I need to
right.
switch off.
That's
Yeah.
a comes, Satish,
Yeah.
and all of you. At least 45, 50,000 words, but
Okay, 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 got it. Okay, fine. Sorry, continue, Rajat.
all right. So, for the new people, when they've started writing and they see the writer's block, the reason why they're not able to start is because of the perfection that they really look out for in their writing.
Yeah.
So the writer's block is more like a I need to be good. I need to write well. I need to choose the right ideas and the stories. So people do not ridicule me.
Yeah.
I shouldn't get insulted. They need to avoid looking stupid. And here I tell you, all
Huh.
the people that you need to give permission.
Huh.
You need to give permission to yourself at the beginning to write garbage.
Okay.
Grant permission to yourself to
Hmm.
write garbage.
Hmm.
It's okay. At the beginning, please do write whatever comes to you. See,
Go with the flow.
you need to go with the flow. You have some knowledge, you have already experienced. There are people of 30 years, 40 years, they know their niches. Many times we ourselves do not say ourselves that, we are good enough. Once you start writing, you will get to know.
Hmm.
So, what I'm saying is, in fact, a short experiment. Take a blank sheet of paper, okay? No rule sheets, just a blank sheet of paper.
Okay.
For 2 to 3 minutes, just write. Keep writing. let it be garbage. What happens is there is a critic voice that is there in our mind. That critic voice, the skeptic voice, will come later once you will write. The skeptic and the critic mind voice will say that, hey, what is this? What have you written? This is not you. It's jumping to, it's jumping before its time, Satish. Ideally, you know, people do not write, and this critic voice comes to you and say, you cannot write, you're not good enough. That's the writer's block. So
Okay.
only one very simple way to get the writer's block out: take a piece of paper, start writing, grant yourself permission to write garbage, and then let the critic voice comes, let it gives its critic. That's fine. Okay, so that is something which I do share it with my students. Always do write. Keep writing. Keep writing. Let the critic voice comes later. Also, one more tip which I would say to you, and some of the people do that. They write and share it with other people, their friends and family members. First of all, their friends are anyway not so happy, that they are writing, so they're anyway jealous that this joker is also writing. Oh my god, like, who is he? So there will be some sort of a critic which will come anyway to you from your friends. It could be genuine critic also. That's okay. What I'm saying is, do not show it to them. Do not show your drafts to them.
Yet. Yeah.
You get it out and then get it right. First, you be your own critic. Make it better. Later point of time, after you're getting it out, then we will make it right. And it has happened multiple times, Satish. Many of the people start writing. As soon as somebody gives a little critic, you just stop. You put your ruler book off and said, this stuff doesn't work. It's not for me. And the end of the story. So what I'm trying to mention here is two things. Writer's block, mind is not letting you to write, is because of a perfection. Grant yourself a permission that I'm okay to write a garbage. Second, do not show your garbage to your friends and family members. It's okay, you critic yourself. Have a coach. Coach can see your garbage and can cleanse it. Another best way is research more. When you research more, when you read more parallelly, then this garbage will soon become a glory. So that's a powerful tip which I would like to share, which I give it to my students. Don't let the critic voice jump before time. And that's how you will be able to clear a writer's block. Let the critic voice comes later. Let you have a coach. Let he sees your garbage and give you a plan of what all research you require to do, and soon you will see that the garbage turning into glory. Get it out and then share it with your friends and family members for review. So that is a critical aspect which I would share on how to really reduce the writer's block.
Very nice. Very nice. So, Rajat, what you said is very valid, especially people who are close to you, your very, very dear friends, your family members, also your colleagues, in the work that you do. They're all well-meaning people. They love you, and out of love, they want to protect you. And in fact, I had this recent experience also. I shared with you all yesterday that someone told me that what authority do you have to talk on the subject, so it's perfectly fine. They're not trying to ridicule us, they're trying to help us, and in their own way. But we have learned from the masters themselves that unless you step up and do things that are uncomfortable to you, things that you think you might not be perfect in it, but don't wait for perfection, just take the plunge and do it anyways. I think that's the only way there can be progress, only in that
Correct.
space.
I think it's such a beautiful, powerful quote. I think it's a mantra, which everyone should recite every day. Perfection is a myth, progress is important. It's every day, everyone need to speak it loud that it's a myth, perfection is a myth, progress is important. I tell you,
Yeah.
for first 3 months when I wrote my book, I didn't even show it to my wife. She even didn't know that I was writing something. Because we people who have started writing are already so vulnerable, so confused, so much thinking that would I be able to do it or not. And then
Yeah.
somebody strike and said, "This stuff doesn't work. This is not good." And you're like, "Yeah, yeah, you are right." And you close the chapter.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to share here is, please, please do not show it to your friends. Let you be the critic. Have a coach.
Yeah.
Let the coach be your critic. Make
Yeah.
your garbage to glory. Do not, the only way to focus and writer's block removal is to write and grant permission to yourself to write garbage. Okay? That's what I would say, Satish.
Well said. Well said. Thanks, Rajat. So, Rajat, what is that one thing you need to know to become a writer to begin with?
See, I feel, Satish, everyone has a writer in themselves. Huh? All of you, everyone who's been listening here, and most of the people, we are such a vast, dynamic, experienced professionals. Everyone has at least 4 to 5 books there in a lifetime. Huh? Everyone. So the problem is not that writing, I cannot write or I'm not good enough and all. The problem, the one thing what the people need to know is to structure their routine. The routine is messed up. You are not able to write, you're not able to take out that 30 minutes in a day. And it's not easy. It's easy to say that 30 minutes I can take it out, but it's just not easy. It took me quite a time to get 30 minutes in a day, because you are into different state. You want to see the Netflix, you want to spend time with your family, you want to do watch cricket match as well, you need to go out with your friends, family, everything you need to do. And I'm not saying that you need to remove any of the thing. What I'm saying is, either you find out what is that waste, what is that muda time, or you need to maybe wake up 30 minutes early. Either you create a time, or you need to find out in your routine that which is the time where I can really, really, really work it out. So when I speak to my students, I don't go to them with, okay, this is the process, this is the way, this is the template, this is the this. I ask them and question them that, okay, tell me, how are you going to take out the 30 minutes in a day? Period. You need to show me as a coach what are the times which you're going to do right 30 minutes in a day. What is your schedule like? 30 minutes reading, 30 minutes writing. Can you share me? And what makes you to tell you that, yeah, you will be able to do it? There we'll look into for the distraction elements. How many words are you been reading? How many pages you are reading? How many pages you are writing? All of that aspects are required. As I'm telling you, Satish, it is not that people cannot write. It is difficult to get the routine set. Once you have a routine set, once you are able to clear your waste time out, or you create an extra 30 minutes or an hour, whichever way you want to complete your book, how fast you want to do it. Once you have a plan, a reading plan, a writing plan, a learning plan, how many words to write, how many pages to read, and a coach is there who is accountable, who has been behind you, who's been looking every little tracker in a Google Doc, who has been using the stick, who has been using the empathy, and you are answerable week over week to your coach that why I not did it, why I should, why I missed it, what were the reasons. When there is a person behind you, a coach who has all been there for your success, looking for that result coming out, a visualization and an actual book in your hand, then it works magic. So I think one thing which I would say is, people require a routine, people require a plan, and let there be an accountable coach who's been helping you to do that. See, it's not easy writing
And
60,000
with a
words
stick. And with a stick, Rajat. Accountable
with a
coach
stick.
helping you and with a stick.
Absolutely. With the stick, with the permission of a person, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
whoever I've talked to, Vivek, whoever I've talked to, what are the traits that you're looking for in a coach? He said, I want a person with a stick here. Because mind has been like always been behind, saying, "Hey, mind is lazy, mind is procrastinator, mind is controlling." But when you know, Vivek, this Monday, 2 o'clock, I need to read this book, 20 pages. It will happen. I need to write on this topic 2:30 p.m. on Friday. These many words, it will happen. And when I'm saying these many words and these many writing things as well,
Yeah.
this all has come also with a formula. That formula is like average words that you have already gone through in a sprint of 1 week. That yeah, this is what I can write. This is what I can read. Once you have all that set, then it's a plan which we are backtracking either, or we are forward looking, and it comes out magical. So yeah, it's all about the plan, Satish. It's all about Vivek plan and a coach
Great.
who's accountable looking into the plan.
Nice. So Rajat, all the while from the masters and the gurus that we have learned from, I already knew that from Priyank also we have heard so many times. I have got coach for every area of my life. So even I knew that for a long, and I had coaches, but then especially since this year January, when I decided that there are two areas of my life where I'll focus on, and I got coaches onboarded when I onboarded myself onto their programs. I really feel the difference in the last 10-15 days itself. When you have a coach, so many things that you would not have even thought of are taken care of, number one. Number two is that there is already a template, there's a structure, there's a plan, and there is someone for you to be accountable to, that is also there. But also it sets you on a path of a timetable, of a timetable which you have set for yourself, and you have set for yourself that I'm going to stick to that. Because for me, for years together, I had never been good at setting up plans and executing it. I was never good at it, but I was very good in taking action. But I think this experience of having coaches in at least two areas of my life this year is helping me a lot. And
Absolutely.
personally, thanks to you, Rajat.
Absolutely. Thanks, Satish. Many times we people are very intelligent folks. We are very smart guys. So because the bad thing about being so smart and awesome, very educated is like we have very high judgments also about people. So sometimes we do get a coach. We say, what does he do? What he knows? Let me use my judgment. So I tell that, if you have taken a coach, whatever is he been saying, follow it. You may fail, but just follow it. Definitely you need to follow it. Somewhere you resonated to this guy, get into it and follow it. And as you're rightly saying, it's a collective energy. It's a collective knowledge which the person has gained so long only on that one particular subject. You can't be into multiple things, into multiple areas. So you need to appreciate that, and that coach will help you bring you to the fast track. Otherwise, it will take huge time for you to go over. And
True.
there are many times we know the answers, we know the things. We know it very well that what I'm doing is not right. But when coach tells you, you say, okay, you're right, let me do it. Sometimes you need to listen from people who are coach telling you that you are not doing right. You may be knowing it, and you are just avoiding it. It's your mind which is like avoiding it. It's like saying, it's okay, it's so fine. But when somebody tells you and asks you the question that don't you think this is right, this is wrong, then your coach, then your mind cannot answer that, and then you start taking action. I think that's the power of a coach. That's the power of accountability partners being there.
Very true. Very true. Thanks, Rajat. Thank you very much. So we come to Vivek. Vivek, how not following the one thing, okay, can really create havoc in your life and can leak the money bucket that you're trying to create for yourself.
So how not following that one thing can leak your money? Perhaps I'll simplify the question. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So let me understand from our audience today. Have you been actually facing leaks in your life? Money leaks in your life? Go ahead and put in the comments which area you're leaking your money out of. Let me see how I can help you plug in. But coming to this question, wonderful question, Satish. See, that one thing is actually not plugging the mystery spending due to lack of awareness. Mystery spending. Okay, what is this mystery spending? See, any small amount of money that is spent regularly on unessential items is a mystery leaks. Do you agree? Yeah, any small amount of money spent regularly on unessential items. What are those? It can be too many coffee breaks during working hours. It can be a trip to a convenience store for a cool drink or that candy bar on the way back home, something like that. Okay, you do not usually budget for these because you know what, the nature of it, the small amounts these are. Okay, however, these small spends can actually add up quickly if you are doing it on a daily basis. You know what? There was a survey done, Economic Times. It revealed 65% of the mystery spends are actually on snacks, while coffee breaks actually accounted for 43% on the of the money leaks. This means that average Indian coffee breaks are 43, but snacks are 65% actually. Okay. This means that Indian consumers today are actually spending approximately 65,000 rupees a year on buying snacks alone. Okay, every one of us, right? Also, see, if you look at an average spending, it's around, let's say, 3,000 or 3,200 rupees. It's an average spending, okay? Considering the lot of population data or for groceries and food items. But out of this, if 60% of them are actually going towards these unessential items with the mystery spends, okay, we're talking about how much? We're talking about close to 2,000 rupees a week, which is equal to 8,000 bucks a month, equal to 1 lakh a year, not even 65,000. Okay. The question is, can we live without these spends on, without snacking? No, we have to live life. We have to be happy also, right? So live the way that makes us happy. You know what? Snack on. Happy snacking, I say. But what if I show you the power of, your teeth and taste buds, how it's actually acting on your money? Yeah. Some quick calculations for you. Okay. Let's say you cut down out of 8,000 rupees per month. Let's say you bring it down to just 4,000 a month. Okay. 50% you cut down. That 4,000, if you invest that 4,000 every month, you know what? Over a period of 20 years, you will actually have 31 lakhs. How much? 31 lakhs. Okay, so the question is, do you want to eat the 31 lakhs or do you want to earn the 31 lakhs? That's my take on it. Yeah.
Great.
So the question is that one thing is about actually, plug that mystery spending due to lack of awareness. Be aware of it. That's all.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. So Vivek, during this interesting phase for all of us that we're going through now, what one money thing one needs to follow?
What one money thing one needs to follow? Very good question. See, it's simple. One money thing that you really have to follow is that budget your money after knowing your financial fitness score. Yes, you have to budget your every dime of your spend after knowing your financial fitness score. Why? Because if you go to askvivekji.com and actually assess your financial fitness for free, you will understand which categories of spends, how much is going to, right? See, for example, I keep telling people and many of my prospective students, there are 3 levels of budgeting that one, has to do on your net take home. Assuming that this is after taxes, whatever money that you get in your bank account. If you're a business person, whatever money that you take from the business. If you're a salaried guy, whatever salary that comes to you after taxes. See, basically, there are 3 levels of budgeting. No one really talks about it. 3 levels. Okay. Level 1 is understand that any money that comes into your account, you got to categorize into 6 buckets, 6 different accounts. 6. How much? 6. Why? You need to save for 2 different items, 2 types of savings. Okay. One for your necessities and EMIs together. One for self-education, one for fun, and one for charity. That's your level 1 budgeting. But if you just put accounts, put the money in these 6 accounts, do you think you'll be actually, able to plug your money leaks? No. That's when the level 2 budgeting comes in. What is that? See, basically, linking your savings or the 2 types of savings into your long-term goals like retirement, children, marriage, house purchase, etc. Because that's where you will start realizing that if your goal is not linked to the savings, you'll actually end up borrowing more, which is nothing but a money leak later. Third level budget is, as I mentioned, there are 6 budgets, right? 6 main accounts, 6 main buckets. Let's say if you pick up just the necessities and EMI category is one of them. Okay. we need to micro budget against each and every one of these subcategories under this. Did you know there are 7 subcategories under this particular necessities and EMI one category? Under the 7 subcategories are there for you to really budget your money on. Okay. Of course, I have a detailed, programs that are targeted to band-aid your money leaks against each of these categories. What I would recommend all the people who are watching this live today is see the comments below, and just understand how we can actually work together to help plug your money leak. But one money thing, let me repeat, is that budget your money after knowing your financial fitness. That's my take on it, Satish.
So thanks, Greg. It's very, very informative and very, very detailed. I think to understand this, you need to really look at your fitness, financial fitness, and I think you got a free app somewhere where you can access that, right? I think you can put it in the chat box. It'll be very, very valuable for people. So let's hop on and let's talk to the other speaker. Let's speak with Chetna. Chetna is a podcaster and she's a coach helping lots of people to come up with their own podcast. And you know what podcast is all about? It's about representing who you are in the social media, also building your own brand, your own presence, so that the right kind of people are attracted to your thought process and can learn from you, right? So Chetna, why is it important to focus on one thing?
Yeah, I think first of all, I would like to say hello to all the audiences who are there and happy Sunday to all of you. And yeah, I think every Sunday, every week on week, I think it's a very nice discussion, Satish. I think what we are going through. And before I could answer your question, I would like to share a small story. I think most of you would be aware, but let me repeat that. This is a story of Arjuna. Arjuna, it's a story from Mahabharata, an ancient Sanskrit epic of India. So the scene here is Arjuna and his brother and his cousins, everybody have been sent to get trained, right? So there is their guru is Dronacharya. So what all these fellow students think that Dronacharya is always partial to Arjuna, right? So they will be discussing about it. So one day what Dronacharya does is he'll bring in all the students and throws a challenge to them. He will just tell that you have to hit the eye of the wooden bird which is sitting there on the tree. So everybody will go with a lot of enthusiasm. Okay, I will do it, I will do it, I will do it, one by one, one by one, one by one. Everyone does, but fails. So the last turn is Arjuna's turn. So Arjuna will just go within few seconds. He'll just give whatever task has been given, he does and completes it. And he hits the eye of the bird. So later on, the Dronacharya will ask all the students, what did you see? So one tells, I saw the branch of the tree. Other tells it's the green leaves, what I saw. The other person tells I saw the clouds. I could feel the weather. And some will tell it's the external people who were talking I could hear. But when it came to Arjuna, Arjuna told, I could see only the eye of the bird. So this is what is the razor focus. And Dronacharya will make them understand. So I'm not partial. I appreciate the Arjuna's focus, the razor focus, what he has, and how he can distract. How we can nullify all the external distractions and focus on one thing, what he had assigned. So I just shared this story to tell that how one thing can, focusing on one thing helps us. See, it will definitely help us to, the quality of our work improves, and in turn, the productivity will go, and you save your time. When you're productive, when you're more productive, you save your time. And major important thing is there will be a lot of space here, free space, when you're focusing on one thing. So when you have multiple things, everything occupies your mind. But when you focus on one thing, there will be a lot of free space, and you'll be more informed. The information, what you want to do, that one particular thing will be inside here. So that is one. The second thing is when you are in this flow state. When I tell flow state, you are in this current moment. When you're focusing on some particular thing, So you become more creative. You will get more creative ideas. So when you're, one thing, creative ideas, and you will be different from others. And definitely you will be more, you can do better than the quality of work, and the productivity increases. And the next point would be like what I feel is you can have the clear conversation. It will be very clear. You will be not bombarded with a lot of thoughts. And when you are focused on one thing, there will be a clear-cut conversation within yourself, and you know what exactly you have to do for the next thing, right? And of course, the last but not the least is when you are focusing on one thing, there will be less stress and you'll be more happier. So this is the ultimate thing what I can tell Satish. It's when you focus on one thing, these are the few best things can happen to you. And we all speak about energy, right? So when we focus on one particular thing, our entire energy is aligned to that. And when that energy is aligned, and our automatically is your results are like you, whatever desires you have, whatever you want to achieve, that they will come. So energy plays a major role here. I think that one point I would just want to add on here. So yeah, focusing on one thing has various positive effects actually. So that's the reason I think I would like to agree that I'm not an expert in this field until last 1 year. I was just diverged in so many things because I had this, I think all of us have this fear of missing out. That is called FOMO or something, what we call, right? So what if I miss out that? What if I miss out this? What if I get into a wrong business? What if I get into a wrong customer? So when we focus on one thing and try out for some days, if it is not working, then move to the next one. But when you're doing all the things at the same time, you will not reach anywhere. So over a period of time, I think it is slowly, I've also imbibed certain practices which has helped me a lot.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice. So what you said, two things really hit me. One is your stress levels will go up if you're doing too many things. And if you're focused on one thing, then your results also will have a multiplying effect. Very nice.
Yeah.
That's it.
True.
So Vedna, can you share with us some tips about how to be focused on one thing?
Okay. I think as I was just giving Arjuna's example, the first and important thing is avoid distractions. So what is distraction? What is the definition of distraction for you? You have to define. For you, if the distraction is your mobile phone, you have to stay away. For you, if the distraction is television, you have to move away. For you, if it is a distraction is Netflix, binge watching all the movies, series and all, you have to move away. For you, if the distraction is the people around you, just move away when you're doing any particular task. So first important thing is move away from distractions. So you have to identify what is the distraction and why it is coming you. So it's a majority of the people nowadays, it's the mobile phone, notifications pop up, check, they'll open it and scroll down. Facebook, Instagram, it depends. So define what is distraction for you and try to move away from that. The first step. The second is once you move away, I think as I was just telling you, you can start immediately from tomorrow. When you're going for a walk, just keep everything at home. I know that some people have the habit of listening music or podcasts and going there. Just go for a walk. Just it. It's a very simple, doable things. Start doing this small steps. I think start small, but repeat it, schedule a time for it. So the second tip is this, start it small, even if it is just 15 minutes of your time, it's fine, but start it and schedule it. Right. So I think these are the few things which will help you to take that focus on one particular thing, Satish. I think Satish is there. It's gone on. He's freezed.
He's focusing, I'm sure. The one thing.
Satish and Rajat both are freezed now. And I think one more important thing, Satish, which I would like to add on is take a meaningful break whenever you're doing that one particular thing or focusing on one thing. Once you finish the task, so what is meaningful for you? Whether it is speaking for 5-10 minutes with your family, 5-10 minutes listening to music, or if you want to just go have a fresh air and come, take that breaks, because that breaks are very important when you're doing any particular task. So it will give back that energy for you to come back and focus on that particular task what you're doing. So three simple things what I told, I think it would be helpful.
So Chetna, I have a question before Satish asks you. When you say, you know what, it's good to take the meaningful breaks, right, in between. Now, let's say if I'm doing a task of, so, okay, I'll tell you, I'm working on a 21 days money challenge. Okay. 21 days challenge. And I have to record 21 courses, 21, and I have close to 70 videos I'm recording now. Okay. And in between, of course, you know, it consumes a lot of time because there's so much of R&D you have to do, and then scripting, and then, recording, and then editing, and all those things. In between, if I want to take a break, and let's say I want to watch perhaps a short video of Friends, or some movie clipping of the old movie, something, just to keep my mind fresh and just to entertain myself. Wouldn't that break then be a distraction, right? So,
it depends. I just told you a meaningful break. So it shouldn't be a thing which gives you a feel good factor. Okay, I think we know that dopamine, all that. Okay, we get into that zone, whether you're watching movies or whichever the series and all. So it shouldn't be that it should drags you back to that. So when you have to make it a point that I am telling you, that's the reason why I told you it's like talking to your family, talking to your friends, pick up the phone and speak for 5-10 minutes, or go out for a walk for 2-5 minutes, right? And go just take a sip of water and just move out of that particular task what you're doing, just moving away from that for few minutes, so that it relaxes your mind. So and once you can just regain back that energy once you take that breaks. So it's not like watching series. It will not be meaningful. It will, again, you will be going back to that the different habit. So
it'll be distractful. Okay, thank you, Chetna. Thank you.
Very nice. Thanks, Chetna.
Very nice.
So we come to Prema, who is the health educator. So Prema, the question for you is this: that what is that one thing that people can do to change their health, to improve it?
Yeah, Satish. So better health actually starts with one change, and I would say that one change you can start with healthy eating. Because when you start with healthy eating, you obviously have a healthy body, which means it builds a stronger immune system, and thereby improves your overall health. So there's no point in waiting till we get into a stage where the health becomes irreversible. So it's good to start with healthy eating as the first change, as that one thing, routine or habit, whatever you call it as. So because being aware of what we are eating and how your body reacts to it, or what you need to add or remove from your eating habits is very important. So I would say if you want to get into healthy living, so the one thing you can start from is healthy eating.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's so important, because one of my trainers was telling me very early on that your body is built in the kitchen, he said. So what you eat, what is going to define who you become. So whatever amount of work you do on the gym, on yourself, might not work until you take care of that first one thing. Right? Great. Thank you.
I like what you said, Satish. Your body is built in the kitchen. I think the money that you make also is directly linked to the food that you eat. So it's I totally resonate with what Prema and you are saying. Oh my God, so much of linkage to food. Such a small thing. Yeah, amazing, powerful. Thanks, Thanks.
Great. So Prema, what is the one can do? Yeah.
Sorry, great. I think I couldn't hear you properly.
I tell you. So what is the one thing that we can do to follow healthy eating, Prema?
Okay, so to follow healthy eating, I would say the single best thing that you can follow once you start your healthy eating is mindful eating. Very highly important. So let's say I like pizza, I like cheesecake, and I like chips. And I also like BMW car, Swarovski jewelry, lipstick, perfume. But then, if I go on spending on these things very often, I would definitely end up with a huge dent in my bank account.
Money
And
leaks, money
similarly,
leaks.
money leaks, yes. So, and similarly, if I keep on, indulging in these pizzas and cheesecakes every now and then, obviously, I'm going to develop health issues. So mindless eating is the actual
Yeah.
root cause of most of the health issues, and most of us are actually mindless about our eating habits. And if this one thing can be changed, we can get free of a lot of health issues. Why? Because see, do we actually spend as much as money we want till we absolutely become broke? No, we spend as much as we can afford, and because we know our financial status. So similarly, we need to understand our body and be mindful about eating healthy to help our body to function well. So the bottom line is, be mindful of what you put into your body, and very important to see health as your asset, which needs utmost care. Because when you see health as your asset, and you improve overall health, you can have any asset in any aspect of life that you want.
Wow.
Because just like money is not something that you can indulge in without planning or being aware of your funds. I like the coincidence Vivek was actually saying, right? People are spending almost more than 60% on binge snacking. So similarly, when it comes to money, we are not spending without a plan or being aware of your funds or balance in the bank. So just like that, even food. So you need to be aware of your body, what changes will happen with what you are eating. And so the awareness of your health and body is very important. And that's how you need to, follow the healthy eating. So you need to be aware of your body, what changes will happen with what you are eating. And so the awareness of your health and body is very important. And that's how you need to. And my voice is
You need
repeating.
awareness of your mind.
Somebody has to mute.
Shankar.
No, this is
we-
basically, Prema's so important. The health thing is, it's repeating for everyone to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for Shankar.
Very nice.
No,
So
it is
actually,
not me, by the way.
I was reminded of once again of this coach of mine, personal coach of mine for my health. He said that there are a lot of people in this world who will be wealthy, very wealthy, and he said there are a lot of people who are very healthy also. But in terms of percentage, the people who are very wealthy, who also have good health, are going to be very, 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 very small percentage. So he said, Satish, if you really are serious about life, then what you should do is, anyway, you're going to be wealthy, you're aspiring towards wealth, you're creating the wealth for yourself and people. Also aspire towards good health, because then you'll be among the smart, small, elite number of people in the world who will have both wealth as well as health. And so relevant, Prema, what you said. So very relevant for all of us, for each one of us. Thank you, Prema.
Thank you.
So Shankar is on board. Good, Shankar. In spite of your busy schedule, you could hop in. Your thoughts about one thing related to trading?
So, especially when it comes to trading and investments, right? While the diversification reduces risk, but if you focus on couple of stocks itself, then that increases the reward. Very specific to trading and investing. Typically, what I've been seeing in my students, especially a lot of my mentees that who get coached from me, either in my morning batch or in my inner circle. So they lose focus and they move on to different other shiny object syndrome. And then they realize after 1 year or after a certain period of time that if they had stick onto one system or one strategy, then they would have made a lot of profits. So that's really a great eye opener where, and it's quite obvious in this information overload. And I also take a blame to some extent where I teach a lot of strategies. And when you know a lot of strategies, automatically what might happen is that you might want to hop on from one strategy to another strategy, one system to another system. So one thing is definitely the best thing, especially in trading and investing.
Great. Very nice. Very nice. So any other tips you'd like to give to people going forward for this year in terms of further thought?
I have a question there
Vivek.
for Shankar. Very well put up, Shankar. But when it comes to what is that one thing with respect to mindset that a trader or investor has to follow? Mindset alone, because I think that is where the entire game of money is
played, right? Very true. So very, very important question, because very rarely I get asked a question on mindset, because wherever I go, either I get to we discuss the tools, we discuss strategies, we discuss indicators, we discuss the new other training that's coming up, we discuss a lot of other stuff which are not related to mindset, but we forget to see the holistic perspective of the entire wealth creation and the wealth management, which is your core, Vivek, which is unless until you don't have your mindset in place, all your skill set, tool set will only lead you to upset. Okay, so
nice.
that is when following just like Rajat keeps talking about this, right? Following just I teach this something called 5 powerful daily routine. Depending upon their time schedules, they can actually follow this. So if they just follow this at their convenience, be it the gratitude, be it the what is the other one, be it the trading creed that I talk about, okay, where we have like the 5 things that are listed, and it takes only 2 minutes just to read. So if you can follow that and without going into any other complexities, your mindset is taken care of, Vivek.
Wow.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
Very. Yes, Vivek, anything you want to ask Shankar, particularly to do with trading and one thing?
No, I think we're good.
Before you ask me a lot of questions, did we cover the one thing about one thing?
And what is that? What is that one thing about that one thing?
So,
is it 1 to the power 1 or 1 divided by 1 to the power of 1.1?
No, the one thing about one thing is, what is that one thing that if you do now, if you concentrate on now, okay, all other things will become either unnecessary or not important. Okay, so that's the one thing about the one thing. So that's kind of summarizes the entire discussion. I mean, amazing discussion you guys have been having. So, I mean, for example, if you are into business, and if you can look at that one thing, right, which is probably difficult but very, very important, if you can knock that out, all other things become easy or not even important. It's also called the domino effect, where one thing that actually touches all other things.
Wonderful. Awesome. I think as Shankar has been talking about the business, the one thing what is required. So we can ask you, Satish, a question primarily on the network marketing business. Like, what is your experience with regards to focus that could affect the one thing, the focus that could affect the performance as a network marketer? If you would like to share thoughts around that too.
Yeah. So, when the people come into network marketing, the expectations are huge. For any other conventional businesses, we all know that the gestation period could be anywhere between 5 years to even longer. It might take at least 3 years for people to even just break even. The amount, the sunk cost that is there in terms of investments, in terms of all the infrastructure that they put together. So for them to even break even, it might take even 3 years, and for them to be profitable, maybe at least 5 years. But when they come into network marketing, their belief and their aspiration is to make it happen quickly. And how quickly? They're looking at only a few weeks or maybe a few months. They want to, like, quickly, they want to turn around and say that I'm profitable, and they want to show their flashy cars and tell people that this is what I've done. And part of the blame is to us, because we as network marketers are partly to blame for this, because we try to make it too simple for people, try to show it as it's too simple and too easy. Simple is it's a fact, it's very simple, but we try to show it's very easy. It's very easy, it's a cakewalk. Just join me. Just take this up. You'll be like flooded with people who are going to run after you for giving you business and all of that. So let's face the facts. It's not true. It's tough. It's time consuming. It's a marathon. And for anything to succeed, like in any other field, it takes time. It takes dedication, focus, and X number of hours for you to put into yourself to learn, build the skills, build that muscle in you to be comfortable with that product, with that business. So I think what happens there is that when people don't get the results in the first few weeks or first few months, then they start getting disillusioned with this and they start looking around. And then, as is the nature of such people, they look for another shiny object syndrome, that word that you used, where, people say, someone else comes around and says that this is the next big thing, please join, this is going to be great. In fact, the biggest disservice can happen when the person who introduces talks, who's in this field, also might introduce some other company, some other product, or some other business opportunity, and say, tell his downline or her downline that, come on, this is another big thing. Come on, let's get into this. You're going to miss this bus if you don't join it. So this kind of thing is very, very bad, and it's not going to lead anywhere. And people are smart these days. They have tried so many things, they have failed in so many things, and it will not work in the long term. In the long term, the only truth is focus, dedication, and self-belief. These are the three things which are very, very important for one to pursue things, and it takes time. Let's face it.
Well said, Satish. Satish, and one more question, is there any good time to diversify and not to be bothered too much about this one thing? Have you ever experienced this sort of situation as well with some of your students, your prospects, customers?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Rajat. It's a very good question. So basically, it is a very good question. In fact, I have to think about it. So maybe the best time to look for diversification is after you established your credentials in the field that you've chosen. First of all, Chetna used to talk a lot about niche clarity, how to identify your niche, how to find out your passion, how to find out which area of your passion can really generate revenue for you and can make a difference to people's lives. So that is very, very important. Once you have chosen a niche, I think it's important that you stick to it for at least the time frame that is going to give you success, the success that you can define for yourself. It can be break even, it can be stupendous success in terms of money or fame, or in terms of creating impact, or whatever that success means to you. So I think one needs to give the time for one to succeed in that business, be comfortable with it, and have at least created some impact in that field. And then maybe it's time for one to look for diversification if someone wants to do something else. But for me, it's very clear that my focus is going to be on network marketing. It's going to be building all my competency, my team's competency, my coaching business, all around that. So it's clear for me. And the best part of things that you do in your niche, in the particular area in which you're good at, in which you're passionate about, in which you can make difference to people's lives, is what, there is no retirement age for it. You can carry on doing this for the rest of your life. There is no retirement age. You can just keep on doing it forever. That's the best part. Yeah. I think Rajat, you're muted. Rajat, you're muted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. So well said, Satish. Sometimes it's difficult to digest, when people come and say that, hey, I'm bored with what niche I was going through. Let me change my niche. So it's like very difficult to digest at times, that I've been doing this for 1 year, 1.5 years now. I think I need to move out. Well, there is so much of deep work which you can do in each of your niche, and so required to give a good sort of a weightage and a honor to that niche by spending not just 1.5 years, further 5-10 years. That's how long term you need to see. And I'm so happy to hear your thoughts around that as well, Satish.
Great. So I think, can we have a quick wrap up answer, or a 30-second kind of a thought about one thing around by each one of you? Shankar, we'll start with you.
So focus on one thing so that all other things become unnecessary or unimportant. And when you get this one thing done, 80% of your progress should happen from this one thing itself.
Very nice.
Awesome,
Well
awesome.
said.
Very nice. Well said, sir, Shankar.
Very nice. Rajat, you sir?
Yeah, I will say that the one thing which really makes a difference, something what Shankar also mentioned, and I totally resonate and believe in, is that you need to have a strong routine. And when you have a strong routine and some of the areas which you really require, the 10 minutes exercise, 10 minutes affirmations, 10 minutes reading, 10 minutes writing, 10 minutes visualizing your goals, 10 minutes meditation. Once you are done with this 1 hour of miracle hour, what we call it as such, I think your life is sorted, and then you really require, you will fly whatever you've been doing. For writing especially, I always keep telling, one thing you require is a coach who can help you build a plan, who can help you build your routine, when I was mentioning it to you. Yeah, that.
Great. Great, Rajat. Nice. Chetna, your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel purpose without priority is powerless. So you have to focus on the priority thing, and that one topmost priority. What is that? Just focus on that. So if you want, okay, for Shankar, I'll repeat once again. Purpose without priority is powerless.
P minus
Very
P equal to P.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. Prima?
Yeah, so just like we don't spend money till we are broke, don't indulge in unhealthy eating till your health becomes irreversible. So one thing that you can start healthy living is start with healthy eating, and one thing you can start your healthy eating is start mindful eating.
Wow. Superb. So powerful. So nice. Vivek?
Yes. So one thing, one money thing I would call it as, okay, one money thing that I always recommend is that budget your money for all the 7-8 categories after knowing your financial fitness. And once you budget that, take actions to plug that mystery spending, which has been happening on the unessential items due to lack of awareness. So let's plug those for 2021.
One money thing is OMT.
OMT.
OMG, OMT.
Not OMG, not oh my god, it's like oh my, oh 1 minute thing.
What about you?
I just
How about you,
remembered
brother?
one of my Shankism, which is if you continue to do only good things, when will you have time for great things?
Superb.
Awesome.
And that
That's
is
it.
his one thing.
Nice. So coming from my side, I would say that when you are getting into network marketing, please do your research, be convinced yourself about the product, the company that you're getting it. And once you take the plunge, work with your coaches, work with your coach, with your team, and ensure that you really make an impact on your life and other people's lives as well. So that brings us to another round edition of our Fortune Talks, Sunday Talks at 8 p.m. To an end. And thank you, viewers, listeners, for tuning in. Any questions that you have to any one of us, please put it in the Facebook or any other platform that we are there. And we'll be most happy to address that. And have a happy Sunday, have a happy weekend, whatever the rest is left of it. All the best to all of us.
Bye. Signing off. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.